Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So guys, I have an exciting video where I'm answering your questions. We have some questions about healing ourselves. We have some questions about money. So I am going to dive into those. Just before I do, guys, we are answering your questions absolutely for free in videos. So you can email us your question or you can post it under your favorite coach's video. If you post it under your favorite coach's video, we send it as a video request. If you email it in, we'll actually give it to one of the coaches that are available to make a video, and they will make a video for you and we'll send you the link, okay? Also, for you guys who have been here a long time, if there's any old coaches' videos that you want access to, we do have them unlisted. You just need the link to access it, so you can email us for the link. Again, absolutely free, because you know what? We're here for you on your journey. So, yeah, and guys, I have a course, Create the Relationship You Love. It's on sale right now. It's basically what I use to manifest my marriage. And yes, I'm married, new ring and everything. Yeah, I've also used that technique and what I teach in that course to recreate anybody. So it's things that I believe in. So definitely check it out. And yeah, we also have a free course because we like giving away things for free. How to identify your blocks to manifest anything fast, okay? It's not going to send you on I'm looking for a blocks, okay? It's going to help you build your mental diet. And when I say build your mental diet, it's going to help you to understand what thoughts that you're holding that are in line with what you want and what thoughts you're holding that aren't in line with what you want. Okay. So it's a really exciting free little course, and it's going to help you to, stay on your thoughts, because your thoughts create everything in your reality, like absolutely everything. You are the operant power. Okay. You want to change your reality. You need to change your way of thinking. Okay. You want someone to treat you different or act different or show up differently, then you need to change your thoughts about that person. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay. Everyone is you pushed out. Doesn't mean that you're a doormat and you're to blame for everything in your reality. Please don't take that empowering information and run with it in that way. Okay. Basically, right. And I answered this question before, so I'll touch on it again really quickly. Personally, when you were creating before you were consciously aware of it, I don't think you're responsible for any of that. And I most certainly don't think children are responsible for anything that happens to them. I mean, we don't know when our brains actually develop, the ability to consciously manifest, right? So, I would say any childhood is exempt from anything that happens, as well as, anything that you manifested, before you were actually consciously creating. I mean, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't hold yourself to blame, okay? And then, even when you're consciously creating and manifesting, don't blame yourself for anything, because sometimes old things that, you've manifested before you were even aware of this, are still showing up and are going to show up as a pattern, right? So, the best thing to do to empower yourself is to, be responsible about it and go look at, okay, this is a pattern. I'm going to change it. Who cares where it came from? Who cares who created it? Okay. This, everyone as you pushed out explains how, the law of assumption, the law of attraction works, okay, how you create everything, but it's not a tool for you to blame yourself, okay? So, and everyone and everything, including your body, is you pushed out, okay? So with that premise, we're going to start. That was our little everyone is you pushed out talk. So let's dive into some of these questions. These were sort of recent ones. And here's the one. This one is on the, I love this username. It's great stuff. Little alien there, little peace sign. It's cute. I love it. Okay. So they send me screenshots from our receptionist, send me screenshots from YouTube of the question. So do you know anyone who has successfully healed really bad hemorrhoids? It'd be really cool if you could make a video on this, as it's a common problem and there's no videos on this. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to make a video on this. I'm going to talk about this right now. So, I've been on this journey, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have. So, and I've healed mine. Okay. So basically, what I do, okay, and this is how, so you can just like magically intend, just look at, my hemorrhoids are completely healed, and, and I'm perfectly fine. Right. So, I actually have gone to doctors and whatever, and it turns out that, it can be healed with fiber. Right. So basically what I did was I said, okay, you know what? I intend to get 30 grams of fiber a day in my diet, and that's going to clear up my hemorrhoids. And that's exactly what happened. But keep in mind, if you do it my way with the placebo, type of thing, that you're going to have to get that fiber in for that to go away. So you could even go even more, easier general for you and say, well, you know what, I intend that my hemorrhoids just go away. I intend that they're no longer a problem. I intend that I never get hemorrhoids again, and they've healed themselves and they've cleared themselves up. I intend that my backside always feels good. Right? You get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's, my doctor says, right, it's supposed to, like, no pushing involved, right? So you just say, okay, my BMs come out easily and effortlessly. I never have to push, right? So, look into what healthy back end looks, sounds, and feels like, and make those particular intentions. But all I did was I said, look, I get enough fiber in my diet that they've cleared up on their own. Okay. And what, I'm good enough. And, and me, myself too, with health, I've cured a lot of health problems. And, I had an infection, right? And it was like, well, I'm going to get antibiotics and it's going to clear up. And it did. So, don't be scared of using things that are out in your reality, because antibiotics, you've manifested them. They're your creation. So why can't you use them? My biggest pet peeve in the community is when people say, oh, well, if you use antibiotics to get rid of your infection, you're not really manifesting. What? No. Oh my God. You've created everything on this earth. Okay. You created Tylenol. So if you're going to tell me that you don't really manifest if you can take a Tylenol and get rid of your headache, but you got to get rid of your headache without taking Tylenol, I don't think so. No, you created everything. You created Tylenol as well. So, if there are, you can intend that, you find a product that totally helps. I remember, I used to have this client, and she was like swore by these like pills that you would get, this like herb. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, and whenever she took it, she would lose weight rapidly, because that was her belief in that placebo. Okay. So, and that's your creation as well. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Me personally, I have a story that as long as I take my vitamins, I am perfectly healthy. So as long as I take my vitamins, I'm going to be perfectly healthy. Of course, you know what? Again, that's binding myself, right? Which I'm not saying is right or wrong, good or bad. That's just the way I do it. But you can just say, look, I am perfectly healthy the way I am. I am perfectly healthy with what I choose to put in my body every day. Regardless if I take vitamins, I am perfectly healthy. Okay. You do you. You create what works for you. Okay. Me, myself, right? I've done this. Oh, I can eat whatever I want and I'll still lose weight. I mean, me, myself, I don't quite believe that, and that's fine. So I say I eat healthy and I lose weight, and then that's what happens, right? So, it's up to you. If you believe you can go from basically eating, potato chips and, takeout every single day and still lose weight, then good for you. Create that for yourself. If you can believe it and create it for yourself, and not have opposing thoughts and fight yourself, then you're good. Okay. But if you can't, like me or other people, we work within what our beliefs are, right? But, again, what, there's nothing wrong with taking a Tylenol or, an antibiotic. Again, you created that, right? So, you can work within your current beliefs, or you can really work of, shattering your current beliefs and, and getting rid of your headache without Tylenol, or losing a bunch of weight by eating 20,000 calories every single day, but you've got that belief solidified within you. So it's up to you how you want to create it, but it's possible. I mean, I've healed myself of so many things, right? So I just want to add that it could be caused emotionally, like after the loss of someone close to you, also from the feelings of guilt, like you deserve to be punished. I've had a look into the medical physical reasons for it, and it makes sense. Okay, well, this is a story, okay? And yes, I've heard people doing this before, but I mean, it's a story. So your hemorrhoids could just be caused by hemorrhoids, okay? Or yeah, you could be like, causing it because you've got this metaphysical thing and guilt. So, I've heard this before. They're like, oh, well, what, if you got a sore knee, then that means, you don't think people believe your power. I don't believe any of that. Okay. Everything is empty and meaningless. Okay. And nothing has any meaning to it. Okay. So, I've heard, people say, oh, well, you've got a brain tumor, then you've got, you need to forgive somebody. I don't go for that. Okay. Because that's just creating story upon story about story. You're looking for meaning of why you have this illness, and now creating a metaphysical answer, which is fine. You can do that. So now you have to unravel the whole question. Okay. You have to basically go, well, you say it could be caused. You didn't say it was caused. Okay. So first of all, say no. Okay. My health problem is not caused by any emotional problem. My health problem is just there because it's a health problem. Okay. And then you get rid of your health problem and then you deal with your emotional stuff. If you're going to attach this emotional stuff to that health problem, then you're going to have to detach them, or fix them both to get rid of the health problem. Okay. So if you say, well, look at, my health problem is caused because I feel guilt, then you're going to have to deal with your guilt to get rid of your health problem. Okay. Which is fine if you want to do that. I mean, that's like basically saying I need to take Tylenol, to get rid of my headache, which is fine. You've linked them. You know what I mean? So now, is it 100%, always caused by that? Well, if you think it is, yeah. But if you don't think it isn't. So, if you want to create that story, but remember now you're going to have to break down that entire story. Okay. How can one help someone to heal from this, or can someone heal themselves from this kind of health issue? Yeah, without going on a long health journey, absolutely. You know what? Every time so first of all, you got to break down that story, okay? Or else you're going to have to deal with guilt. So first of all, you're going to have to deal with the guilt, okay, which is going to get rid of, your health problem. If you're saying that your health problem is because of some metaphysical issue like guilt, okay? So that's one route. Now, the second route you can go is no, you know what? This health problem is completely separate. It's not because of that guilt, okay? So I can deal with that guilt when I'm ready. What I'm going to deal with right now is my health problem, and just say, look, you know what? I intend that, like we've talked about in the beginning of the video. Okay. So those are your couple of options there. Right. So, so yeah, I've heard, in the community saying that there's metaphysical reasons for illnesses, and I don't create that belief in my reality. I really, I also don't think that, like, for instance, our emotional problems cause health problems per se, unless we create them to. I remember I was in a program, and in the program, people were like, yeah, you know what? I got diabetes and high blood pressure because I was stressed out all the time and because of my emotional. And so we do create that, right? So you can also uncreate that and say, look, regardless of what's going on in my life, regardless of my stress level, I'm always healthy. Okay. And that's my belief. Okay. That my emotional has nothing to do with my physical. But remember, if you're saying that your physical health has to do with your mental health, then you're going to have to fix your mental health to fix your physical health, or you decide that neither of them are connected. Okay. So I get it. It's a thing. It's a thing in our society, not just even in, the metaphysical community. Right. So, but yeah, that would be how you fix both. And you know what, there's no right or wrong to either of them. It's what you want to believe, right? Because this is your reality and you create your beliefs and you create your rules. Right. Great. So let's go on to the next question here. I intend that completely helps you. Wow, you guys' questions are coming in my email as fast as I can answer them. So here's another one. Hi, Amanda. I love your channel. I'm a new subscriber. I'm currently having some financial challenges. I want to learn how to manifest large sums of money quickly without having to work hard. I never have to worry about money and always having more than enough, not barely scraping by. Living a very comfortable life. That's what I want my reality to be. I'm familiar with the law of assumption, and it's quite fascinating. I've already changed my beliefs through saying affirmations, but I need to speed up the process. Any suggestions? Okay. Yeah. You know what? Okay. So personally, I absolutely love Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There was one thing that he did talk about there is in sexual energy, which personally I'm not a subscriber of, I don't believe, but I mean, the rest of his content was really good, and in that. So basically, right, like, what I would suggest is, you need to come up with an idea, like, what is your idea that's going to make you rich? Like, what is your idea? Are you going to have your own business? Are you going to go into like the stock market? Like, what is your idea that's going to, funnel in the money for you, right? Are you going to win the lottery? Okay. So this can happen as quick or as slow as you want, right? But I mean, and then what are you going to do with the money that you get? Okay. So not just, okay, I've got like 5 million in the bank account, right? Like, okay, I'm going to go on an episode of Below Deck and charter a yacht, pardon me, I'm going to go to Ireland for like a month, right? Yeah. I'm going to go on cruises. I'm going to go traveling every single month, I'm going to buy a Porsche. I'm going to buy a mansion, a huge house, yeah, what are you going to do with the money? I'm going to invest every year, $5 million in like mutual funds, GICs or stock market. Like, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to spend with the money? What are you going to do with the money? And then how is the money going to come to you? Right? Like, I mean, if you do have the beliefs that money can come to you like out of thin air every single month in large sums, then great, but I mean, me, myself, like, for me, that doesn't quite work. So how is that money going to come through to me? Right. And that's how most people do it. So, how is it going to come through? So if you don't know any ideas, so start thinking, what ideas do I have that are going to make me rich? What ideas, of that I can do that are going to, make me completely, absolutely rich? But what can you sell something, have an Etsy store? I mean, who, what, where, when, right? So, when it comes to like, money and manifesting large sums of it, the how is sort of important, right? Because, how are you going to get this money? Like, how is it going to come to you? Right. And that's okay to think up the how on this, right? So, yeah. So yeah, you want to think up the how. How are you going to get it? So are you going to get it through people buying your services? Are you going to get it through people buying your, I'm not sure, like whatever you think up. So that would be the quickest way. And then, you just start intending, that, you have a great service. People absolutely love you. Your time is worth it, or your Etsy shop, everything in there is great. What is, I think one thing that, I think a lot of, what are those influencers do is like, they basically have affiliate programs with like Amazon and other companies, and they basically make videos and then show these products and give you a code to get a discount. I mean, there's so many different business ideas out there that you can do. So, I mean, how are you going to make the money? I would start with that. And then once you know how you're going to make the money, remember that, what your clients are your avatars, and you got to make sure that, it's something you believe in, and something that you feel good about. Like, for instance, I believe in coaching. I did a coaching program, similar to what we offer. Actually, other people have done that program and done coaching with Create Your Future and said that, our Create Your Futures coaching is 10 times better, because I did take what I learned there and make it 10 times better. But I did coaching for 2 years, like, every single week for everyone as you pushed out, and a mental diet and to change my life. And it paid off enormously. I've done lots of coaching throughout my years, and, it's always benefited me. So I believe in it. I believe in, the being held accountable and, having a sounding board that isn't going to help me complain and make my situation worse. So, and I feel good about what we do, because we do great things here, right? And we charge reasonably too. Like, I've seen some prices out there, so, you need to feel good about what you're offering. Okay. If you feel good about what you're offering, other people are going to feel good about it. Okay. Because, at the end of the day, you're the only one creating your story. So how is the money going to come to you? And then, is this something you feel good about? It's something you got to feel good about and stand behind, because if you don't feel good and stand behind it, everyone that you pushed out is going to feel it, and they're not going to trust it. Right. So yeah, those would be my tips. But, 100%, I have no problem referring you to Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's free right now. There's audiobooks. The guy's adorable. If you get the audiobook, when he starts like really going on a rant, he sounds like Elmer Fudd. He's like the sweetest thing. But, again, the only thing that I didn't resonate with it, is the sexual energy part that he was talking about. But, at the end of the day, you take anything that works for you out of any video you watch, and take what works for you and leave the rest, right? Everyone's got, like I've talked about this whole video, how I may, manifest, curing a headache may be much different than somebody else. I use Tylenol, maybe they get rid of it on their own, which is totally possible, right? So we create what we want in our reality in many different ways. So do what's comfortable for you, right? But yeah, great, guys. I intend that is amazing, and that helps you guys. And thank you for being a new subscriber and loving the channel. We're so happy that you're here. We're like family here, and I really love being on your guys' journey. I want nothing more than to see each and every one of you guys have the life that you want, and and be happy. And every day have something magical happen that just like blows your socks off and goes, wow, you know what? I create my reality, and my reality is great. So yeah, anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.